Hello, this is an addendum to the week one video, and you'll see that this is also in the week one announcements page, and it's also here as part of week one information on YouTube. This is about the 6 ingredients of music, and this comes from week one on this website. All right, if you go over here, you'll find week one and so on. So we're already on week one here. So you scroll down and get to the 6 ingredients of music. Now this is something you might want to download. If you click on here, a PDF file will pop up. In order to save some time, I already popped up the page, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring this up over here as a separate window and just show you what the 6 of music are all about. Basically, when you are putting music together, there are all these different symbols that are used to put music on, and they all have names and they all have functions. This first thing, which is associated with music, is called the staff. There's 5 lines and 4 spaces. Here's how you spell staff. And the whole purpose of a staff is just to show you visually, by the way the lines are set up, which looks higher, which looks lower. For example, if you put something down here as opposed to something up here, this is going to be lower than that. And the lowness and the highness is figured in levels. This is one of the levels right here, this bottom line. The next part is a space. The next thing after that is the line. The next thing after that is a space. There's actually a total of 9 levels with the staff alone. Now there are ways to extend it, but those are for a future lesson. But for right now, the staff just shows you high and low of a pitch. If you see notes or any kind of symbol the way it is, it would show you how high something is based on these lines and spaces. For example, this little hand is down here on this line, but the word staff is up here. So you would say the staff word is higher than my hand thing right here. All right, the next thing, treble clef, and that's one of the assignments for this week. This is what goes on the staff, and all it does is tell you that sounds are going to be higher sounding than other sounds. All right, so any instrument that plays higher pitches like trumpets or flutes or birds chirping, women singing, or even men singing really high pitches for them, this would be designated by the treble clef. It's like a grouping of high sounds. All right, the other clef, bass clef, tells you that things are going to be low sounding in nature, like the cello or the bass or the tuba or a man's deep voice, or a foghorn, or a frog croaking, or if that was written in music. But these are clefs, bass and treble. And the RH and the LH, that's if we were going one step further and talking about piano. This would be what the right hand reads. This would be the left hand what that reads. The next thing, the treble clef, I'm sorry, not the treble clef, the time signatures, ingredient number 3. These are all separate examples of time signatures, all right? And all they do is tell you how beats are grouped. All right, you usually don't hear beats grouped in a song, but when they're playing music, they are following instructions based on all kinds of symbols, and this is one of the symbols that they have. And the beats are grouped according to this top number. The bottom number tells you which type of symbol gets one of these beats. All right, so when you see that symbol a number of times, or any combination of other symbols that represent one of these symbols, you can only have this many up here total. All right, so that's all the time signatures do. All right, the most common one is this one right here, the 4/4, and then the next common probably 2/4, then 3/4. And I mean, you see a lot of these quite a bit, but like I said, the most common is 4/4. The next thing, when you group beats, you want to make sure that they are divided up in some way. All right, well, we'll get into that in just a sec. This has something to do with that, but right now we'll just talk about the function of this line here, the bar line. It does divide the staff into little segments. All right, so this is what this is called, bar line. It divides the staff, which is ingredient 1, into segments. Now, when you have 2 bar lines, it creates something called a measure. And this is where you put those grouped beats of the time signature within. All right. In addition to that, you put them in the different levels of high and low pitches, but that's what's called a measure. This is where all the beats are grouped. Okay. Remember, what goes in here, the amount of beats that go inside here, is determined by this top number. The top number doesn't determine how many notes, because notes can be different sizes as long as they add up to this number up on top and fit inside this measure. All right, then we're okay. Okay, let me rephrase that. As long as the number of notes that you have add up to this top number, then they will go inside this measure. The measure is designated for whatever that top number says. All right, and the final ingredient, which is notation. These are the four main styles of notes, and there will be a PowerPoint video that will also be posted up there that will tell you something about how to tell these notes apart, how much they mean, how much they are, what they mean, that type of thing, and how they work. But these are what they look like, and there are more than these notes, but the difference between any other note besides these four is that they keep adding more flags. So you might see one of these type of notes with 2 flags, or another one with 3 flags, and with 4, and so on. The more flags you have, they're not as quite as common as the one with 1 or 2 flags, but just to know that these are the 4 different styles, and the only style that really gets changed a lot to designate different styles of notes is the one with a flag. All right, and then of course these are all the ingredients combined. Here you have your staff. Up here you'll see the 5 lines, 4 spaces. You see the clef, treble clef, and here's your time signature right here. All right, and then you have this bar line, and then you have this bar line, another bar line, which makes this measure, and a measure right here. And then within that measure you have notes. All right, this bottom number represents this style of note, and you can have no more than 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 4 notes, but 4 beats. And since when you find out in that video of notation, you'll find out that this note here, the style is equal to 1 beat, and you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here. All right, and those are the 6 ingredients. Might want to get a copy of this page, print it out for you, and go through it and see if you can understand those items after you view the video on notation. All right, and that will be up as well pretty soon. Thank you.